This is ESPN on ABC.
This fine Sunday, it could be a day of momentum shifts in the NBA with a couple of 2-1 series tipping off and the draft lottery ushering in a new wave of stars. We're going to start our day, though, in Indianapolis, where Jalen Brunson's teammates, he knows why the cameras are there. They're like, go ahead, Mr. Brunson. These cameras aren't waiting for us. They're waiting for you. And we are waiting to see what he has in store after that Nemhard shot put the Pacers back in the series. I guess if you're averaging 34.5 points over the last two games, you can roll in wearing something like that, Stephen A?
No, you should never be allowed to come in wearing something like that.
Now looks stylish.
We're counting you down on ABC.
Halliburton double team, shot clock at 4. Nemhard's got to put it up. Step back, his three-pointer. Nemhard knocks the three down.
I looked up and it was like 2 seconds on the clock, so I just knew I had to get something off.
It's really cool to see the energy in the building. Our fans have just been itching for playoff basketball again.
We got the city on hold. We put on a show.
We just got to find a way to win. That's the bottom line.
It's only one game. The next game is a completely new palette.
Yeah, this is game time.
Welcome to NBA Countdown, presented by Chime.
Hey, welcome inside our Los Angeles studio. Why are there ping pong balls behind us? Well, because not only do we have Game 4 between the Knicks and the Pacers, we also have the NBA Draft Lottery. It is live at 3 o'clock Eastern right here on ABC. Stephen A. Smith, Michael Wilbon, I am Malika Andrews. Happy Mother's Day, everyone. We're certainly thinking about all of our mamas here, the best of the best. And we're getting you set for the Knicks and Pacers, which brings us, gentlemen, to today's fight for victory. It's brought to you by Modelo. Tyrese Halliburton has put up 30 points, 5 assists, and 5 threes in his last 2 games. If he does it a third straight game, he will join Steph Curry, Luka Doncic. Damian Lillard is the 4th player to put together that long of a streak in the playoffs. But let's not forget about Jalen Brunson now. 25 points and 5 assists in each of his last 7 games. With another 25-point performance, he will break a tie with Bernard King in 1984 for the longest streak in Knicks postseason history. And the home team will look to continue to hold serve in this series. Indiana with a win. This would be the 4th Knicks-Pacers series, all tied up at 2-2 all time. We know that this is a storied rivalry here. And the Knicks, they went on to win 2 of the previous 3 that were tied at 4. And joining the party now from the draft lottery himself in Chicago, Kendrick Perkins. Did you hear, Stephen A., that Perk, he got on the phone with Tracy Morgan. He's going to be in the Garden Courtside on Tuesday night. Are you going to be watching a Knicks team that's up 3-1, Perk, or is it going to be the Pacers that even up the series today in Indy?
Oh, I'm going to be watching the Knicks team that's going to be ending the series.
Thank you, Al, and welcome everyone to the state of Indiana and a beautiful Mother's Day in downtown Indianapolis. It's always a beautiful day for a Pacer-Knick playoff game. 3 thrilling games so far in this series. The home team has won all 3. All 3 decided in the final minute. Can the Pacers even it up today? Or will the Knicks take a 3-1 lead back to New York? And what a time it is to be an NBA fan. 8 teams left competing for a championship. And of the 4 series, all 4 of them right now 2 games to 1. And good afternoon, everyone. Along with J.J. Redick and Doris Burke, Mike Green on hand, Lisa Salters with us as well. After Game 3 the other night, in fact, this whole series, the question is, what do these 2 teams do for an encore? We have seen great playoff basketball. Let's start with the Pacers. Wonderful response, Doris. Game 3 to get in the win column. Number 1 offense in the NBA regular season. Number 1 scoring team in the playoffs, yet it was defense that got that victory.
And it started with one notable matchup switch. They decided to put Aaron Nesmith, who's 6'6", on the guy who has led the playoffs in scoring, Jalen Brunson. He was willing to push up to 94 feet. He was willing to use that long, strong, athletic body to go over, through, or around screens. Keep the pressure on. Make Jalen take tough shots. But it went beyond him. Against a great offensive rebounding team, you better hunt bodies and check out. But this Knicks team is gritty, so you better bring some toughness and a next play mentality. Late turnover could have cost this team the game, but look at them sprint back, and Turner gets a great block. I love the toughness of that group.
Meanwhile, the defense was critical. Tyrese Halliburton did it on the offensive end. With more on Halliburton, let's check in with Lisa. Hey, Lisa.
Hey, Mike. Well, it's been a physical series. Players on both sides are banged up. Tyrese Halliburton is one of them. He'd already been dealing with back spasms, and then he suffered a lower back bruise when he fell hard on his tailbone in Game 3. But his biggest concern, his right ankle. Remember, he tweaked it in the fourth quarter of Game 3. Halliburton said it's been a struggle to even walk the last couple of days, but he also said, hey, no excuses. I'm here now. I'm ready to go. He said his mindset for this Game 4, his message to his teammates, even this series, he said, we know we do not want to go back to the Garden down 3-1, but if we get it to 2-2, he said the pressure is all on them. Mike?
All right, Lisa, as for the Knicks, they're the subject of today's Star Watch, brought to you by Rakuten. It really has been a dream season for them, and they were this close to leading 3-0 in this series. Instead, they suffer a crushing loss. It's time for them to summon that grit again.
Mike, perhaps no team's will has been tested more in these playoffs than the New York Knicks. They're currently managing a depleted rotation because of injuries. Jalen Brunson is banged up. They have multiple guys being asked to play heavy minutes. That toughness we talk about, it's going to be measured once again today. And as it was in Game 3, 8 of their 9 playoff games so far have gone down to the wire. This is a quick turnaround after Friday night's heartbreaker. Can Jalen Brunson and the New York Knicks once again rise to the challenge?
Meanwhile, for the Knicks, Josh Hart warming up and getting ready. Will he sit it all here this afternoon in Game 4? Both teams are banged up, both ready to fight. It's the NBA playoffs, Game 4 coming up next.
NBA Conference semifinals on ABC are delivered by Chipotle. Real food for real athletes. Chipotle, for real. This presentation of the NBA Conference semifinals delivered by Chipotle will continue after this message and a word from our ABC stations.
What is it about the Knicks and the Pacers when they meet in the postseason? Drama, controversy, spectacular performances.
At this time of the year, it's about will and guts.
Boy, this is playoff tenacity at its best.
They played with a lot of will and a lot of guts tonight. But our guys did too.
Down the middle, drives inside, blocked by Turner.
Everybody knows what it looks like when you go down 3-0, so we had to come out, play desperate, play hard.
Nimhard knocks the 3 down. Pacers right back in the series.
Why we love this team, their resiliency, their grit.
No matter what it is, we find a way.
Cash it in.
We win the game right now.
Drives it.
Deep 3, left side. That's good.
We understand they're going to come out with a big punch.
Here we go. It's time for the New York Knicks and the Indiana Pacers in the NBA playoffs, presented by Google Pixel. And the conference semifinals delivered by Chipotle. Packed house at the beautiful Gainbridge Fieldhouse as we get set for Game 4 on this very special day. It's Mother's Day. That doesn't mean Mom's gonna not go through an anxiety-filled afternoon as they cheer on their sons here in this playoff action. Part of the sellout crowd here for Game 4. The starting lineups for the Knicks and the Pacers. No changes from Game 3, including Precious Achiuwa starting at the 4. Meanwhile, Rick Carlisle and the Pacers the same, including Andrew Nimhard, who had that game-winning 3, would prove to be the game-winning 3 to get the Pacers into the win column. Well, what are we going to see today? Is a star player going to show his brilliance? Is a role player going to have the game of his life? Is it going to be offensive fireworks? Or is it going to be a defensive slugfest? Doris, just can't wait to see what's going to evolve here.
No question about it, Mike. And if you're the Pacers, the fourth quarter effort you got in slowing down Jalen Brunson and a Knicks team that had been so great in the clutch was critical to their winning that game and getting back on track in the series. Can they repeat that defensively?
Look, every single playoff game is a must-win. I know we like using that word a lot, but this particular game is pivotal in this series. Knicks have a chance to go back home 3-1. There is a level of war of attrition when it comes to this Knicks group. So many minutes for so many guys. Does that take its toll later in the series?
Meanwhile, the Pacers undefeated at home in the playoffs. They won 3 against the Bucks. Won the game the other night against the Knicks. They also won their last 5 in a